Hello, my name is Dr. Bagley. I'd like to thank you again for joining me. This is Conversations with Dr. Bagley. This is the second part of the live webinar recording. This one here is webinar coded 00LV2-4. Group topic is parent and child, more specifically the relations between the two. The specific topic of today's show is problems within parenting. Okay, this is a 30-minute program, so at the end of the program, it's going to be cut off just a little bit, but don't worry. I have ways for you to communicate with me to get the full program. This, again, is a live workshop recording that I did not too long ago. The workshop itself is called Parent-Child Communications. Again, this is the second the second part of the 4 parts. If you would like a free copy or have some comments, questions, or concerns about what you're about to hear, please do not hesitate and give me a call. Normal business hours, okay? Or if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, please email me right there, Dr. Bagley. I'll be more than happy to help you and talk you through those situations. All right. So without any ado, I'm going to cut off from here, and we're going to go ahead and get right into the program. And I'll see you on the backside. Bye-bye. All right, so let's move on. The problems within parenting. Alrighty. Here we go. Yeah. So this is page 11. All right, there's a couple of things that I just really want to focus on, and I'm going to define them individually. One is financial problems. Everybody has financial problems.
I need the yellow pad.
Yeah. Which emotionally, it brings angers and frustrations, and then when our kids get on our nerve, we don't know how to handle it because ultimately, how do we vent? You know what I mean? So that's one aspect of the problem. Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Relationship problems. I don't care if you're married or single. We'll talk about both of them. That anger and frustration comes out. And then when it comes to the kids, if they get right smack in the middle or not even nowhere around. One of the things is after you get anger and frustrations for the parents, there's no one to vent, to talk to about these things. All right. One of the things I recommend is just simply find someone you can trust and talk to. And then influences. A lot of parents turn to drugs, alcohol, sex, meaning outside relationships, music, etc., etc. Those are the ways that they get away from reality, and the kids are left alone again and to themselves, develop themselves. So right now I want to talk about those two right there, financial problems and relationships and how it affects. The first one, a lot of us keep up with the Joneses. Now, if you say not me, it's probably because you don't have enough finances to keep up with the Joneses.
So it's not an option.
It's not an option right now. Right. It's not an option. Right. Because as soon as we get money, what do? We look at a magazine commercial or somebody else's. How do you like your car? How do you like your house? But neighborhood, we always do that. And so it depends on your financial. But when you do get money, yes, the first thing people do, they want to look good to impress. So they're going to buy clothing. A little bit of money you get, you're going to buy some clothes. Entertainment, going out, enjoying yourself, right? Family, housing, etc. Family is one we're going to get into, but more specifically talking about buying your kids stuff that costs way too dang much. Way too much. I wish my daughter would say I want some Jordans for $150, knowing that it only costs $25 at Tokyo.
Right.
They're probably more expensive now. I know. They're $200. Inflation.
Special. It actually costs them $20.
Yeah.
To make them. The Jordan.
Well, my problem is you recycling stuff that I wore in middle school and high school.
Right.
Right.
4 times. Right. Well, actually, it's a 6. Yeah, 6 times.
Wow. So again, this is people who got money, a little bit of money, a little bit of money. Those who don't, we struggle and we make do with what we got and go to secondhand store, third-hand stores, and whatever. I don't know. But be careful when you guys like going to school, start a business, getting up in yourselves. Be careful of this scenario here. I drive a 2006 minivan and will until it breaks down. It will not ever reflect how much money I got. You know what I mean? Okay. The psychology effects of keeping up with the Joneses. So everyone has wants, needs, and desires. Everyone has it. You get a little money. Even the little money we do get right now, we get the money and we feel good and we start spending maybe on bills, maybe on whatever, then we spend it some more. And then eventually by the middle or end, we don't have any. Then we begin frustrated, then we get anger, then we get depressed, and we start turning to drugs, alcohol, or wherever else your thing might be. And which does cost some money. right, which does cost money. Or you borrow from somebody else, and then you get into a low self-esteem issue, which the esteems by themselves just simply says, how do you feel about yourself and your ability to do things? Where you feel very low about you because you're broke, as could be, and you got wants, needs, and desires until you get paid again, and we start feeling a little better about ourselves. But then the cycle goes around and around. So keeping up with the Joneses is one aspect, but you can also use this scenario if you're just settling with your ability of making more. If you're just content with what you got, this will always be forever. And on the opposite, what do you think we're teaching our kids? How to live. They're looking at it. And so when we work at a job we hate, all right, because it's not our own job and it's not what we love doing. And we tell our kids subconsciously as they develop in their stages, it's okay to work at a job. Don't strive for nothing better. Just do what you do to make it. They don't talk about it. You don't talk about it, but that's exactly what they're seeing us do. And when they're 18, 19, 20, and we wonder, you're a talented child. Why aren't you doing more? Well, you're a talented mom. Why don't you did more?
Well,
Yes.
but see, and that's the thing, like with my son, I told him, I don't want to pressure you to do something that's the norm.
So you tell him
do
to quit.
what's in your heart. No, do what's in your heart. Make what you love to do something that will give you the need.
Okay, so let's use that, what you just said, and compare it to you. What level are you at compared to what level do you think he should be?
Well, and I really can't say what level he should be. He should be in a place right now where he should be able to function
so
on his
better
own
than
independently. I want him to be better than me, but I also, the model that I've given him, I work doing random jobs just to make something happen. But now I'm doing what I love to do.
Okay.
Now I'm working towards that. And I told him, school ain't for everybody.
Right.
But you still need a trade.
Right.
I love culinary. I love to cook. I love to serve people. Right. Now God has positioned me to teach this to students. Okay. And I'm like, and it's a bad high school, but just guess what? I'm going to love what I do. I'm going to, I already work with you. Right. I'm going to inspire them to love the same thing, because if they're in this program, they're going to want to love to do this. Okay. So connecting him with that. My gift is cooking and serving. Okay, so the question is this, and I'm questioning your ability. So the 5 talent, 2 talent, 1 talent point of view, okay? You love cooking, so that's your thing, but is your ability to work for somebody else, or could you literally have your own culinary something? Well, I'm actually doing both. This one is, the school is going to pay for the cafe. Okay, so you are going to be in debt. Okay. I don't want a loan. So I'm teaching him that I'm trying to be self-sufficient even with starting my business with you with. By struggling. It ain't gonna be a struggle. You're struggling now. I am not, because of the decisions I made. Okay, so the point is, that's what you're teaching him, to struggle. Right now? Mm-hmm. Struggle until you can do better. Right, and that's the logic of poor people.
Because in reality, rich people don't think like that. And this financial stuff I'm throwing in here. All right?
Save that for next month.
We are, but I'm just gonna give you nuggets.
Okay, I didn't know what's supposed to be done. Then.
There's-
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, 'cause
There's two types of debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. How you treat debt is how you make it or not make it. So good debt is I can take a loan from a bank with interest, go buy a house with that and pay off that mortgage by flipping it and then pay back that plus interest. And I still got a couple of thousand in my pockets. Good debt. Bad debt, buy a car, just drive it. That's bad debt. Because you ain't making no money. Thank
so
you.
it's a factor
Thank you.
of risk taking.
It is. It's a risk reward issue. Do you believe what you're doing or can do has a supply and demand issue? So you're a cook, you might be a great cook, but in comparison to 50 other cooks, where do you compete? If you're not the top 3, find a different profession.
Well, mine is kind of little, yeah, I get it. Okay.
I'm not saying to do that, I'm just saying, you become reality, okay?
Yeah.
Unless you're the top, because when for me, when I started the photography at 14, by the time I became 18, I said I mastered it, right? Me went to New York, my first job after he tested me was $25,000 check. That first year, I made $1 million. That's because what I did was master level. I was the newest, best thing at that time. You can't get to that level, Apple, I don't care who, Ford or any product, it doesn't matter the product has to be the best at what it is, and then the people will pay more. But if you just doing what you're doing, okay, you're still struggling. Yes.
Talk a little bit about the process of how you became the best between 14 and 18. What did you have to do that was different from the people who were just doing it?
I just did it. Oh, my senior year in high school, I only had 1 pair of pants. Because every dollar I had, I spent it on my equipment, developing film, buying lights, doing stuff, traveling. I didn't care about how I looked. I didn't care about girls. I didn't care about friends. I didn't care about nothing. I just knew one thing. When I found out I was good at it, I knew one thing and one thing only. I'm getting the hell out of this ghetto. That's all I knew. Now, in return, I have a 9-year-old daughter who calls me up. This is some months ago. She calls me up, 9 years old, at her grandmother's house. Daddy, because I'm in real estate now. Daddy, how much you think grandmama's house is? I said, baby, I don't know. What do you think? Well, she need to fix her kitchen and her bathroom. How much you think? I don't know. They go on Home Depot and look at how much is replacing stuff and then come up with a list. And we're talking like that at 9 years old. Now, why? It's because she knew who her daddy was. And her daddy is a businessman and loves money and loves helping people, because I love money, because I can help people. See, you can't help people if you're poor. That's true. That's why I don't get it. A lot of people give all the time and you ain't got nothing. But we'll get into that another day. So in context, when you think about it, keeping up with the Joneses is people who are starting a business, I'm starting to do good, I'm finishing school, got a good job. Next thing you know, they're spending all their money. They just like they are, because mentality-wise, they're no different than when they were in the ghetto. Let me define that a little bit more. I just recently talked to, since I'm a financial advisor, I recently talked to a doctor. He's a foot doctor. He comes to me, has his own private practice and all that. He wants me to help him finance, manage his money. And so I broke it all down, overhead, housing, cars, and all of that. And all said and done, he only made $32,000 a year. He was living outside of his budget. And I told him I couldn't help him. Because if you get hurt, that $32,000 ain't gonna help you. So mentality, you gotta change your mentality. Now, when you do as a parent and the kids see you grind and you going from one neighborhood to another neighborhood, holy cow, what do you think they're gonna do? It gives them inspiration, it gives them a promise, that gives them evidence. That's what faith is. Faith is the substance hoped for. The evidence. What's the difference between hope and evidence? Is the work you must do. But if you don't, what good is church? That's another story. Let's go back into this. All right, so this is the yeah.
You can't say
The next one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, next workshop we'll make sure we have some fans.
Yeah. So you guys look young, even you doing your thing.
I know that's right.
Doing your thing, dancing is better than I can. But the point is, I applaud you guys for doing stuff, but you need to do it to your highest ability.
Right.
Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of going and getting debt, school debt, and who cares? Get it, and then master whatever it is. Don't worry about going to culinary and working for somebody else because they're not teaching you what the people want. You need to get on your own, do some your own research and do your own thing. And I don't care how much it costs. You know what I mean? But you've got to do it before you get too old. Then you're going to live a life of, I wish I should have, could have, would have. And I'm not going to live like that. Yes.
And I don't know if you want to wait.
Okay.
Address this next month, but one valuable lesson you've been teaching me, and it is connected to this, can you share with the group the difference between talent and skill?
Oh, yeah. So the gifts in the scripture says every man has a gift. Okay, well, the gift is what you do, what you love. One person is an engineer versus one likes to cook. So that's the gift that I believe that God has given all of us. Okay. Skill is what you use to compare yourself to the best. Okay. So for me, I have the ability to understand money and the relations of money, and I like real estate. So I like real estate. That's a talent. I like real estate. My skill level cannot compare to what's the guy running for president? Trump. Can't compare to him. My skill level can't compare to his. His dad gave him $1 million loan. He turned that $1 million into a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's skill. That's not talent, that's skill. But that is grinding, learning, seminars, that's questioning, that's leadership skill training. That's, oh my gosh, that guy is awesome. I don't like his politics, but that's personal. But as far as business-wise, that man is awesome. 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 Yeah. So for me, in next month, when we talk more about finances, the nugget is this: find what you're talented in. I don't care what it is. Then research and find who's the best at it right now. And then skill level, compare yourself to that, nothing else. Because eventually they're getting old and getting out, and you're going to be taking his place. That's just the way it works. That's cycles.
Okay, so how do you,
Go ahead.
you said find the best person, do all of that.
Yes.
How are you gonna get all the information you need if you don't work for nobody else?
Good Lord, you got an internet and YouTube and Facebook and Google and all that. Don't tell me technology, man.
Okay.
Man, please.
I'm just checking.
I stay on YouTube about 4 hours a day, every day, researching. And education is free, technically. Technically, you don't need to go to college. The
You
internet
remember
is
back
the
in-
college.
Those of us who are older, back in the day, if you want to research something, you have to
Go to the library, right?
Now, you got to be careful what you find on the internet. Make sure.
Oh, no, right.
We really, you think about it, do we really have a reason not be at our top in our talent?
Yeah.
Based on all the resources we have, there's
So-
really no excuse anymore.
So everybody's seen Jeanette's in us commercial. I mean, the show that we did. I think a couple of you may not have. All right, we started a TV thing, conversational thing. I know Auntie saw it; she likes it.
It's not a TV thing. It's
Whatever.
A talk show.
It's a talk show.
You're right.
Yeah. So,
You're right.
so it's awesome in its context because of how we work. But that's just her talent. Her skill level's got a lot to do, a lot more. Because in context, her comparison is Oprah. See that ooh back there, just to let you know, Oprah studied what she does to the point that she is a master in what she does. From body language to leadership skills to God knows whatever else she needed to do what she does. See, and she studied the top.
And
Yep.
I'm studying Oprah.
So
Right.
that's like Mark's perfect man.
Uh-huh.
Perfect in their
Right.
skill.
Right. Because see, here's the catch: when you study the top, you're studying not how they just did it. You're studying what they did to mess up in it, so you don't make the same mistake.
And one.
So you do you go two parts. You just studying everything. Yeah.
Yeah, for one huge adjustment has been for me, again, I've had this talent for a long time, and I've had people cheer me on about my talent. So to a certain degree, I had an exaggerated opinion of myself when it comes to this particular
Low
field.
self-esteem about yourself.
Yeah, but I call it exaggerated opinion.
Call it whatever you want.
So even to the point, one of the other elements is to make sure you surround yourself with people who know where you're trying to go. Like, because I kept mentioning Oprah, he goes to the TV, most people know I'm hosting a show on TBN. TBN had given me top ratings for my show. He came and watched me.
Look like crap.
Blasted me for like an hour.
Yeah, it looked like crap.
Because it
wasn't at her talent.
The top.
It wasn't even at her talent level compared to her skill level.
And so again, one thing when you're gonna find when you're moving into that direction, and I'm just warning you, and you're trying to get now my talent is irrelevant to me now. I'm all about skill. So you gotta watch who you ask their opinion on what you're doing, because if their benchmark is here and you're trying to go here, you can't let the applause get you off guard. So it's good. Oh God, I'm gonna pay for this. It's good to hold on, let me drink some water before I say it.
I'm rubbing off on her.
It's good to have somebody like him around you to make sure that they're not applauding you when you know that your benchmark is up here and you're right here. It's a hard thing, you got to be ready. It's for big people.
So here's the thing, and right, and even in Jeanette's point of view, from the very beginning, I've always said you're going to outgrow me, and I want you to outgrow me. You need to outgrow me. So I'm not looking at it as this is my thing and I'm the person. No, this is about helping one another, right? Mm-hmm. One thing in Jeanette's situation is she likes words of affirmation. She likes it, she needs it. And I'm ripping her a hole every single day because until she gets $1 million in her bank, what she just did didn't mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. Unless you see, money in rich people's mind is my success is determined by what's in the bank. Money is absolutely nothing to us except a measurement of our success. If you ain't got no money in the bank to do whatever you want to do when you wanted to do it, you ain't done nothing.
That's how I feel when I'm broke.
You are broke because of that. And And that's the mentality you have to change, that mentality. And not everybody wants to, because it's a totally different environment. Totally different
But
environment.
you know what, and it kind of brings light to what has been kind of systematically drilled in me.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like a lot of, like, I've always prayed for a nice house in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
And I
You got it.
I mean, I literally, you walk in my house, you be like,
That's
you
the
know,
best
something
neighborhood in the worst neighborhood.
The
best house in the worst neighborhood.
Yeah, so in actually some of the houses on my block are actually nice. They don't look like they belong in the neighborhood either.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because it was almost like, you know what I'm saying, you can't leave the hood. You can't leave folks to leave you down here. And I said, but I can still live. And part of me is fighting. You can still have your kids out here in a better neighborhood, and you can still be successful and do what you need to do from where you came from. So it's kind of helping me. I think I feel guilty. Yeah. I feel bad for wanting to leave the inner city, but I knew my kids were gonna be safe. But it's like it's a mindset. So if I have a poverty mindset about even where I stay, I'm not showing my kids that even though we can afford it, you can't leave the hood. Right. So I'm low key like, dang.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I come from the hood. I know what I'm talking about. From a hood one day to the exact same day, within a week's timeline, I was on some old man's yacht, looking like I just came from 38th and North Avenue. I've been telling everybody, but he told me the very first thing he said to me was, "You look like shit." Seriously. But he loved my portfolio. So he had a choice: kick him off his yacht, or let's work with this who had potential. So what he did was, the next day he sent his secretary, we bought some clothes, we went into the studio, he tested me out, do I know my stuff? With no nothing. Okay, fine, that worked out perfectly. He wrote me a check for $25,000. Clothes can change. Location can change. You can't change that. Until you believe, you're gonna be forever. You can have a business. You can be the best person, the richest person in the hood. You're still in the hood.
So are you saying something wrong with him? I was just gonna ask that. Can't be in it? Yeah.
I put it in the reference of Jesus, who said the poor people will always be amongst us. My ability that God gave me is not poor. Take that how you like it. It's how your ability that the Lord gave you. Now, in my ability, I became the master. He blessed me through my ability. 5 talent, 2 talent, 1 talent. Everybody know the story a little bit. When he comes back, did I invest it to multiply it? In my case, yes. So now I can have the ability to go back to the hood and help those who want to help themselves.
But not living in the hood.
I'm not living in not living. Not living.
Not living in the hood.
Not living.
How can you really see? And I get that, but it's like, for me, it was according to my faith. So it is. That's what it was. I had the faith to get a nice house big enough to do what I was asking him to do. Okay. So now I'm like, okay, now you have aspired for greater. Because one part of myself, I'm a single mom, I'm raising 3 kids by myself. I don't have a man in my house. And I'm like, but I have enough faith to keep myself in the hood, but not to get myself out. Well,
again, was it faith or the ability? Because
it wasn't ability, trust.
So
ability.
So right, and that's what I mean. Everybody, and I won't say everybody, but I use that term all the time. Everybody use faith as the focal point of your success. Do you have enough faith to do? No. What is your ability to do? Do you have the knowledge to retain some information? Do you have the strength in your body to go do the work? Do you have the means to do whatever necessary? That is what's there.